What is up, guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Career Mode. We're into episode number 117. And today, guys, we are so close to finding that transfer window. We are about 2 episodes away from getting towards it. And so, any suggestions left on this video? I've already recorded the transfer window. I've still yet to record the last bit and the deadline day of it. But I've used the majority of our money on all of your guys' suggestions and stuff like that, so you'll see who we've signed as well. There's a couple of things I want to reiterate in this episode that I did in that one, because it's live that one, so of course, because it's recorded afterwards, I know what's happening in these ones. But I just want to say quickly, anybody suggesting Gabriel Jesus, the Manchester City forward, anybody suggesting to sign him, unfortunately, it's not possible due to the fact that I started his career mode before he came into the database. What I mean by that is, I started it when FIFA first came out, and therefore I have the database of back in, let's call it, October time, and he wasn't actually on the database then. So, although he's in the database now, and you can actually sign him now, unfortunately, he's not in this career mode. I'll show you it in the transfer window as well. I think I show you me trying to search for him, and I can't actually find him, but for any of you suggesting to sign him, it's not possible, and I apologise for that because of the fact that we've started the database afterwards. But if we start a new career mode at some point in the future, then of course he will be available to us to sign. Probably not from the first season, but we will try and do him in at some point in that one. But you can see, today's episode, guys, we have 3 very good games coming up for you. 2 of them are against sort of fringe sides in the league. I don't want to call them that because I don't want to disrespect anybody's teams. If I ever say something in the career mode that just sort of ticks you off, I apologise. It's just the end of the day. When I look at some of these teams and I look at the way we're playing, some of these teams should be quite easy 3 points, and I don't mean that in any way, shape or form, real life, to be disrespectful or anything. It's just the way it is. As you can see here, we've had this game in the league, and we have one more later on against, as I say, 2 pretty fringe teams. The first goal comes in this one very early on. Raul Jimenez, absolutely world-class up front. Smashes that one into the top corner, says thank you very much. Dabs as well to make it 1-0 inside 12 minutes. Also, guys, we have redemption time. We get to play PSG in this episode as well. One thing I want to point out as well, I forgot to show you the sliders in this one. I apologise. I show you at some point during the PSG game just to prove that no sliders are involved. But for anybody who wants to jump on the bandwagon and start talking about sliders at any point during this, just because I forgot to show you it in this episode, go ahead. But I won't be replying to your comments at all. But you can see as well, fantastic little goal there from Raul Jimenez. It gets us off to the perfect start. And then inside 28 minutes, guys, it got even better for us because we were dominating this game throughout. Nice ball down the right-hand side. Shop gets on it, whips in. Eventually, the ball to the area says, get on the end of that, Amang. Amang does just that, and it's a free header into the back of the net. Very, very poor from our opponents in this one. Inside the first half, we were cruising already. 2-0 up in this one. Never looked like conceding throughout the majority of this first half. We were having a lot of the possession in our opponent's half in terms of being able to just hold on to the play. And that's one thing I'm trying to be a bit more, I guess, better with, because I've been playing quite a bit of sort of, I guess, trying to get FUT champions and stuff like that, or trying to just play in a weekend sort of, not the weekend league specifically, but the tournaments to get in there. And what I've noticed is a lot of people hold on to the ball for long and wait for the correct passes. Now, although I don't play as much Ultimate Team as I would like, I can sort of practice it in career mode, and it works in career mode as well, because this game, I was holding on to the play, making sure that I was waiting for the passes, not just trying to force the play whenever it happened. I mean, you can see this one here to Amang's very easy. And as well, guys, I want to say, the team we're playing, they're playing 3 at the back, and it frustrates me, because 3 at the back in FIFA, unless you're deploying a right wing back and a left wing back, which they didn't do, they went with a 3-5-2 and had a left mid and a right mid instead, you get so harshly punished for it if you know how to exploit. I mean, you can see that's a lovely ball inside to Amang. Great finish as well at the end of it. I made it 4-0 inside 60 minutes. If you're playing 3 at the back, or if the AI is playing 3 at the back against you in career mode, it's so easy to exploit the 3 at the back. Just hold on to the ball a little bit more. Because they've only got 3 defenders, the minute they drag one out there, you play that ball in that gap. If you've got a pacey striker like Amang, for example, he's on it and it's a goal. That's all you've got to do whenever you come up against 3 at the back formations on Legendary, is literally hold onto the ball a bit longer than you normally would do. Either try and force the play out wide, because of course with 3 at the back they can be very, very stretched unless they're left back, unless they're left midfielder and the right midfielder, get back and defend. But in this game, they weren't the greatest in defenders in the world, so it was quite easy for me to exploit it. So if you want to play against 3 at the back, you literally only have to go down the wings or hold on to the play and just wait for one of the defenders to get dragged out, play the ball in the gap, and you are good to go. So he smashed them off there, 4-0. Comfortable 3 points. We dominated the game, as I said. If they didn't play a 3 at the back, it might have been a different game. I came into this one, saw the 3 at the back, and I was like, thank you very much. This is going to be in a situation where I can't wait to try and get my hands on a few goals in this one. And we did just that. You can see as well, match facts wise, I didn't have that many shots, but I had a lot of the possession. I had 58% of the play. 7 shots, 6 of them on target, and we scored 4. And that's sort of me trying to be a bit more clinical in general on FIFA. and in general on career mode, because I don't know if you've seen the regionals recently, but the regionals, they are so clinical in front of goal that everything they do just seems to be a finish or a goal. If you give them one chance in the regionals, they'll score it 9 times out of 10. And the only time they don't score it is if the keeper makes a very good save. So it is what it is. But I mean, you can see we're doing a bit of training here. I put a Mang into the training because his finishing's extremely low for an 80 rated striker. I don't quite know how he's an 80 rated striker with only 72 finishing, but it is what it is. So threw him in there and said he needs to grow a little bit. Then we had time for redemption. PSG, who beat us by a 1-0 last time. That absolutely crazy strike from Rabiot making it 1-0. Of course, they took the 3 points away from us in the group. But if we win this one, as I mentioned last time when we had the Champions League game, or had the last Champions League game rather, the group itself, we are sat top. It's then PSG, and then it's Wolfsburg. Now, if we lose this one here and Wolfsburg win, there will be a 3-way, tie basically to see who gets out of the group, and only 2 can go through. All we've got to do here is either draw the game or win it. If we draw or win, and Wolfsburg win their game, we go into the last game of the season against Wolfsburg with it in our hands. We don't have to worry about any results. We just have to make sure that game against Wolfsburg is good. Actually, even if we lost this one, I think we can still, because it's still in our hands. If we beat Wolfsburg, then at the end of the day, we would be able to go through anyways. But I prefer not to lose this, because if we lose this, it means we have to win that Wolfsburg game. There's no other option. If they beat, I think it's Basel is the other team in our group, then we have to beat Wolfsburg in the last game of the last group stage game of the season. But inside 13 minutes, no idea what happened in this one. Manaj, a lovely bit of left trigger and right trigger dribbling here. Gets past one, then goes inside of the other man. It's so simple to do, and a fantastic finish at the end of it as well. So inside 15 minutes, 1-0 up to a goal in which I was a bit surprised really, because I saw the play and I was thinking, it's a nice bit of dribbling work, but look how many bodies PSG had back. We had literally Manaj up there on his own. He was isolated out. He had about 6-7 PSG bodies around him in the end when he gets through one-on-one with the keeper, and he still smashed it into the back of the net. So to go 1-0 up like that, if I was PSG manager, I would be extremely frustrated. But nevertheless, a fantastic finish from Manaj in the end there. 24 minutes though, guys. It was 2. And at this point, I was going crazy. I was thinking, you know what? We've done it. I mean, there's a lot of luck involved in this one. Don't get me wrong. The defender's getting an absolute mix up there, and Manaj gets himself his second with a nice finish. I'll show you the sliders at this point as well. Like I said, I forgot to show him during the episode, and I apologise for that. Normally I show you him before we go into game, but I don't know why. I just sort of came home. I was really ready to get going, basically, and play a bit of FIFA, so I forgot to show you sliders. But there they are anyway, so you can see 50 all across the board and 50 all across the board on our end. But the thing is, guys, we were 2-0 up in this game. I said it was time for redemption, but I was not expecting to win this game or go 2-0 up in a game in which I was sort of thinking PSG have done it once before. They can do it again, certainly. They've got a team to be able to do it. But the thing is, we were absolutely brilliant on it today, and I don't quite know what had changed in the side. I mean, I had to name somewhat of a weaker team. I played a left back at left mid, and it actually worked wonders here on the left-hand side as he goes down it, and Manaj almost has himself a first-half hat-trick as it comes back off the post there. Can't quite squeeze the ball in the back of the net after it eventually gets cleared by PSG. But as I said, we were absolutely brilliant in this one. And here, into the 90th minute, PSG were trying to get themselves an equalising goal, or try and get themselves back in it, a consolation goal. And we just went up the other end and counter-attacked them, basically. And Manaj did, in fact, get himself the hat-trick here. A great finish, a low-driven shot, back of the net. Thank you very much. 90 minutes on the clock, 3-0 up in this one. Manaj says thank you, grabs himself the match ball to take away with him as well. PSG, I really don't know what to make of that game, because although we absolutely smashed them, you saw they've already beaten us once, and they definitely could have done it again. I think what hurt them the most was the early goal from Manaj. If Manaj didn't put that ball in the back of the net, it could have been a much different situation, because, I mean, PSG, we saw what they did last time, and they are definitely not going to be, this probably won't be the last time we hear from them. But it now means, guys, that potentially what I could do, I could go into that last game against Wolfsburg and purposely throw the game. If I do that, then it means they are through and PSG will be out. And we've already beaten Wolfsburg, but I don't particularly want to do that. I mean, you can see they actually drew 1-1 with Basel there. So in terms of that one, I think we're on 12 points now. Wolfsburg on 7 and PSG on 7 as well. So going into the last one, PSG play Basel, we of course play Wolfsburg. Like I said, if I throw the game against Wolfsburg, it all matters how PSG doing that one, but I'm probably not going to throw the game against Wolfsburg. I'll try and win it, even if I don't manage to do it and they beat me fair and square. It might work out wonders. I don't particularly know who I should fear the most out of Wolfsburg and PSG, depending on if they get through the group, because of course we won't play them in the next round, but there is that possibility we could meet them again somewhat down the line in the competition. The other thing to note as well, guys, there is a massive possibility that we will come up against Leeds. Leeds United have the best team in the world right now. That's the team that we built over at Ellen Road, so the chances are, if we get through the group stage, we probably won't be playing them in the next round, because of course if we win our group, the likelihood is they're going to probably win their group as well, meaning that we potentially could meet them in the round after that. Therefore, that's if we get through, of course. Therefore, we could be looking at a very, very tough game in that one, because if we have to come up against Leeds, I genuinely don't think we'll beat them. And the only reason I say that is because their team is absolutely crazy everywhere. In the past, I've come up against Bayern Munich, of course, and they had a weak point in their defence. I exploited that last time in the 2 Champions League finals we played against them. Manchester United had a very good attacking force. Their midfield was kind of an issue for them. So in that situation, I had the better midfield there. But Leeds, there's no weakness in that side. You know, the left side's good, the right side's good, the middle of the park's exceptionally good in the form of course, Will Jackson, you know, Ericsson, Barkley, of course, all these good players that we had at Leeds. So in terms of that one, if we come up against them, I don't quite know what I'm going to be trying to do in that one. I don't know if I should set back and just wait and let them play and see if I can counter-attack it, or if I should go out and all guns blazing and try and just get the early goal and surprise them. But we'll have to wait and see, because, of course, it may not happen. We may not pull them out in the next few rounds. We may end up meeting them in the Champions League final if we can ever get there, luckily. But in this game, guys, Atlanta, we went 1-0 up in this. A fantastic move in the second half, giving Zerbo the chance to make it 1-0. And you know what as well, guys? I want to just make a point. At the start of the episode, you know, when I played the first game and we won 4-0, I was sort of saying to myself, can we play you every week? Because it felt like one of those games where you just feel so in control that you knew you were never going to lose it. And that's always the best and nicest things to play in FIFA. When you know you're not going to lose a game, provided you can score, it's just so nice, that feeling, to know you're not going to lose. And the thing is, I don't particularly understand how I'm doing this well with a team at Inter Milan, but I'll take it every day of the week. And surprisingly, this team is going to be massively changed. Well, not massively changed, but there is going to be a few changes made in January. So I'm hoping I don't sort of upset the balance when I do make these signings that you guys have suggested, and then sort of make the team not do as well as they are doing. And that is a fantastic finish, by the way, from Raul Jimenez. Certainly putting up a shout, because if you follow me on Twitter, you will know I actually posted something yesterday involving Mauro Icardi. It's a possibility, guys, that Mauro Icardi, MI9, could be heading back here to Inter Milan from Chelsea. It's in the works at the moment. I've recorded the episode. We'll have to see if he does join us. I haven't, as of yet, been able to sign him because I haven't done the entirety of the transfer window. I've still got a nice bit of budget left, so I don't want to spoil anything in that way. But he is definitely up there with my priorities to sign in terms of the January transfer window. So that could be a very interesting signing, to get him back here to Inter Milan and possibly replace Raul Jimenez with him. I don't quite know who I'm going to replace, because, of course, I've limited myself to 2 pre-contract signings. You'll have to see who those guys are in the transfer window. But what I will say right now is, guys, I hope that you guys will be happy with the signings I make. I tried to make it as fair and as sort of spread out as I possibly could, picking up players from other leagues and general, just stuff like that, and just people going off the vote or the comments that was voted highest and stuff like that, to try and make it as sort of fair as possible. But hopefully you guys won't be too disappointed in the players that I sign. And there's a couple of guys in that list as well that I am actually looking to sign in the Road to Glory career mode. So that's the reason why I didn't sign him in this one, because I do want to sign him in that one instead. But I don't know if you saw there in the calendar, we've actually got Juventus next game. So I'll show you the league table now. They are sat just above us in the league, I think, by 2 points. So that one, if we win, we go a point clear. If we draw it, we're still 2 behind. And if we lose it, we'll be 5 behind. So that's a very important game. You can see both of us will be putting our unbeaten runs on the line in that one next episode. Can't wait to show you. It's going to be a good one. Hopefully you've enjoyed this one. If you have, I'd appreciate if you could hit that like rating. As always, guys, thank you all so much for your continued support on the channel. If we could hit 50 likes on today's episode, that would be greatly appreciated. As always, guys, you guys are absolutely incredible. Thank you all again. I will catch you all with another video very soon. Adios.